He talked to Kevin Acee in the San Diego Union Tribune while the Giants were in town. Padres, they played a thank you Snellzilla message on the video board. Padres fans cheered. Some Padres fans booed when Bob Melvin was announced, and I already gave my thoughts on that. With Snell, I don't really understand why you boo Blake Snell. He was never going to come back to the Padres. He just won his second Cy Young. If you're him, you're not from San Diego like someone like Joe Musgrove, for example. I understand wanting to try to go get that long-term contract. Boris thought that he could get a lot of money for Blake on a long-term contract, and he was offered that, I believe, by the Yankees, but Boris ended up giving him more of a short-term route because that's the best that could happen. High AAV, short term. I would have still taken that shot as well if I was in Blake Snell's shoes coming off of a second Cy Young. I don't think that you boo Blake Snell. He had that Don and Mud connection. He pitched really well for the Padres last year. He wasn't the reason why the Padres missed the postseason. So I'm glad that he still feels the appreciation from Padres fans. Snell said, "I lived here 3 years. I loved every bit of it. At the beginning of the offseason, I wanted to be here the rest of my career. We were sad that we had to go elsewhere, wherever that was. But at the same time, excited for an opportunity for a team that really wants me and wants to invest in me. That meant a lot to me." All right, a couple things there. He wanted to be here the rest of his career. Do I believe that? I'd like to. It seemed like he did like being in San Diego, and he liked his teammates. He loved the Don and Mud interviews. I don't know if that's continuing with the TV crew there in the Bay Area with Kuiper. I think that's his name, Dwayne Kuiper, and Mike Krukow. That's a pretty fun broadcast to listen to. I sometimes watch those Giants games that the Padres aren't playing. And that's fun. So maybe that continues there, but it seemed like he really did genuinely love San Diego and love the love that he was getting from fans, and fans loved him back, obviously. So I'd like to believe that he actually is telling the truth. I know that sometimes players do say that, and it's easy to say when you've already signed for a lot of money somewhere else and you just want the fans to not hate you. So you're just going to say that. With Snell, I do believe that. Um, but this part here, excited for an opportunity for a team that really wants me and wants to invest in me. Are the Giants really investing in Blake Snell? I mean, it's a 2-year deal. Is that like a real investment into Blake Snell? Sure, it's a lot of money that they gave him over a 2-year time frame, but I feel like a real investment is like 5 years, you know, a long contract. This isn't a long contract. I think this was the Giants seeing how good of a pitcher Blake Snell is. He's still not signed. They have the money to do it. This is a unique opportunity for them to get him on a short-term deal. They were not going to give him a long-term deal. I think that's pretty obvious. Teams they just didn't want to take that risk with Blake. So how much of an investment is it is something that I question. Blake continued here. "I never take for granted how beautiful this place is," talking about San Diego and the fans. "I've loved them since day one. I've enjoyed pitching for them, pitching in front of them. Now that I'm with the Giants, I've got to transfer my focus to this team. But yeah, I love San Diego. I love the fans, and they show so much love still. It means a lot." I bet it means a lot. I mean, I'm sure those players, well, we know they have egos and they want to be liked. And Blake, I think Blake made it pretty easy to like him, at least, personality wise. Some people may not be the biggest fans of watching him pitch, and that got frustrating, especially not last year, but the years before that, with the walks and working slow and taking time to, get in, really locked in on the mound during seasons. But he didn't like do anything to piss off the fan base, right? It seemed like he cared. It seemed like he wanted to win for San Diego. I remember back in the postseason after they beat the Dodgers and the celebrations that he was doing there, right? So I like Blake.